So hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we'll be taking a look at a gaming PC company called Build Redux. Basically what these guys are trying to go for is building a PC with no markup and at a $75 build fee. So basically what they are proposing is that you go to their site and you buy a gaming PC from them, and you only have to pay $75 to have it built. And then you have to pay the price of the parts. So from this idea, I think a lot of people can assume or could come to the conclusion that they are trying to go for the value end of the spectrum. Now, value isn't necessarily like budget, right? It doesn't mean that they're going for like $400 systems. It means that for the money that you are paying, you are getting the most that you can from it. But because I know I'm going to get a lot of hate in this video, please hit a like if you guys do end up enjoying it. I know a lot of you guys are going to hit that dislike button, but that's fine. You can do whatever you want. I'm not going to force anybody to do whatever they don't want to do. But before we get into all of the meat and potatoes of the video, we've got a sponsor for the channel today. And our sponsor is the subscribe button, guys. The subscribe button has been very gracious to me recently, and they wanted to sponsor a video today. So if you guys are at all feeling up to it, hitting that subscribe button would really help them out. So I've done a fair bit of work on their site. I wouldn't say I really would call it research, but I definitely kind of sat down, messed around with their configurator, looked at prices, compared those things against PC part picker builds, and compare them against different pre-builds that I found online. So let's start off with probably their most popular gaming PC that they're going to have. This is their PC store main page, and of course they're marketing the no markup phrase, just a $75 build fee, and we'll see how true that is. So the first build that we're going to be having is going to be their lowest end one, and the reason why I picked this one as our first one is because this one is definitely going to be their most sold gaming PC that they're going to have in their lineup. And the reason for that is just because it is the cheapest one that they have. If you look at specs, it's actually not that bad. You've got an AMD Ryzen 3 3100, you've got an Nvidia GeForce GTX 1650, not a bad card, but I think at the price range that they are having it at almost $900 is kind of dumb. You've got 16 gigs of DDR4 in dual channel, which is very helpful for Ryzen, which I thank them on that one. And then you've got a 500 gigabyte NVMe SSD, pretty good performer. And then you've got a Cooler Master Hyper 212, some RGB fans, a case, an overpriced case for this price point. I definitely wouldn't be spending $85 on a system with a $120 processor or it's actually not really 170, but it's close enough. $170 graphics card. I definitely wouldn't be spending a huge bit of the budget on the case. And I actually kind of want to go into this for a second, guys. And a huge reason why people end up buying PCs from companies like Digital Storms, Origin PC, Main Gear, and these guys is because of how good these systems look. Now, I'm going to tell you, this system looks good. I don't think it looks in the slightest bad, and I think that the case is actually a pretty decent case. It's got good airflow. I have worked on this case before. It's a pretty nice case. But I think for the average buyer of one of these gaming PCs, which is either going to be someone who doesn't really have the time to sit down and build a gaming PC, or someone who does want to build a gaming PC, which is kind of the general population, they're going to buy one of these pre-builds, and they're going to buy it because they think it looks cool and they think it's going to perform well. Well, I think people should definitely not take looks into account before performance. And the reason why I say this is for an example, when I wake up in the morning and I need to get to work on like school stuff, or if I need to sit down and start working on a video, or if I want to play games, right? The number one thing I care about is going to be the performance of the system. I don't get up, turn on my computer, and sit and look at it for a solid 10 minutes because I like the way it looks. Looks are always going to be secondary, alright? I don't think a PC should look terrible, but I don't think that you should prioritize looks over performance. I know that was kind of a long-winded argument against the case, but it kind of brings up a problem that is evident on this entire site. It's part selection. So I do want to give them a little bit of slack on part selection because they are a quote-unquote new company, even though they've got Digital Storms backing them. You can probably wait a little bit and see what the part selection is going to end up being later on, because they don't have a whole lot of part selection here And the problem with this is that you're forced to make certain buying options. So with a system like this, I probably wouldn't want a 600 watt 80 plus gold power supply. If you're buying a lower end system, I'd probably want a 650 watt bronze, because it's probably going to put out around the same wattage, though maybe even a little bit more than what this is going to put out, but it's going to have a lower efficiency and it's going to cost a good bit less. It's probably going to cost around $60 or $65 compared to the $80 that you're adding on for this gold power supply. And now the main thing that I have a problem with is that they're charging $110 for the Windows key. So this is why I'm saying that. I'm like, well, it's not really just a $75 build fee, because when you're putting a Windows 10 key for $110 onto your added bills of materials, it's kind of like, yeah, you're not charging $75, you're charging close to $150. A lot of people are going to make the argument that yes, a Windows 10 key does cost $110. I have a PC part picker thing set up here. It costs $110, guys. But the vast majority of people who are either building a new system, getting a new boot drive, and they need to reinstall Windows, and for some reason they might need a new key, or they're doing like a system repair or something like that, and they just need to reactivate Windows. A lot of people don't go to Microsoft and buy a Windows 10 key. It's just not reasonable when you can go on eBay, or you can go to a bunch of these other sites that offer Windows 10 keys for close to $10, or even less if you're on eBay. Though eBay might not be the best place because you might get scammed every once in a while, but getting scammed 2 or 3 times is still better in terms of cost than actually going out and buying one of these. Like, people just don't buy these. So I think it's kind of ridiculous that they add in the full price of Windows 10 Home to the total cost of the system. And so let's get into the next argument, that people aren't going to be doing PC part picker lists, right? Because this is for people who are going to build their own systems. Well, comparing it to another system of a similar caliber, the CyberPower Gamer Master from Best Buy has got an AMD Ryzen 3 3100, the same exact CPU that is in this system. You do have less RAM, but we do have a better GPU and practically an even storage solution. You've got a 240 gigabyte SSD, which is less capacity than that, but you do have a 1 terabyte hard drive. So in terms of blow for blow, I think that this system does a better job, because it is $600 and not close to $900. It's going to have relatively the same performance. It's going to have okay looks. It's not going to be as stellar as this thing, but again, you're not sitting down and looking at your PC for 20 minutes when you're turning it on. Now let's get into the next one, right? Because some people are like, oh, okay, well, that's their low end. Their higher end might have better value. So in order to actually use this processor or any other high-end processor off of this site, you have to have a 240 mil liquid cooler, which is going to add $75 to your cost. You don't get to choose this. This is something that is already added on. You get the same case. Of course, you get a pretty standard Z490 board. You get an RTX 2060. You get a 500 gigabyte NVMe SSD with a 2 terabyte hard drive. Then you got a 600 watt 80 plus gold power supply. So again, let's do the same thing. I'm not going to do a PC part picker list, but we're going to compare it against something else on the market, the MSI Gaming Desktop Aegis R. This system is going for $1,300, and those of you might say yes, but it is on sale. I've never seen this system advertised for this cost unless the demand was really, really high. But it's a standard looking system. This is fairly middle of the pack. It's going to have an arguably worse CPU, but you're going to have basically the same storage configuration. You've got a 1 terabyte hard drive instead of a 2 terabyte hard drive. And then you've got a better GPU, a RTX 2060 Super. So again, I think that they kind of go blow for blow. You don't have a 240 milliliter liquid cooler, but again, you're not paying $1,500 for the system. Now these guys aren't going for value. MSI really isn't a big value guy, but a company that is a big value guy is VRLA Tech, and their system, the Titan, directly competes with this one that I've configured. And well, in terms of performance, this one's got a Ryzen 7 3700X with a GeForce RTX 3070. A 3070 compared to a RTX 2060, that's a pretty big gap. That's basically comparing an RTX 2060 to an RTX 2080 Ti. It's a pretty big performance deficit for the same price. Now, some of you guys might be like, well, they gotta cut corners somewhere, and admittedly, yes, they cut corners in the right places. They cut corners in the case. The case is not a bad case. It is a case that looks fine. It has tempered glass, though it may not have the same build quality as the system. You are only going to notice that if you are building or changing parts out within your system. The only time you really care about build quality in cable routing is if you are actually building or upgrading the system. If you're buying from these guys, or if you're buying from VRLA Tech, you are not doing that. You might upgrade later down the line, but you are not building the system yourself, so you really shouldn't care too much about cable routing. And I know VRLA Tech, I have seen their computers, their cable routing is fine. Their cable management is practically on par with these guys. They don't just throw crap together like companies like MSI or CyberPower might do. These guys actually put stuff together thoughtfully. And this system is roughly $5 cheaper than what this system is, and you're getting a lot better performance. The CPU is going to have better multi-threaded performance than this one, though this one is going to have better single-core performance. The storage configuration isn't great. Your SSD is going to be lacking, and I would recommend an SSD upgrade. I did include the RGB case fans because I think that that is something that people want in a system like this, and other than that, I think everything is fine. Now, summary guys, I don't think that they're that good. They're not what you think. They're not going to be the company that is offering insane value. They're just not. They're basically just a reskin of Digital Storms with slightly better pricing and with, I think, better cosmetics than what Digital Storms has. You get a 2-year warranty, but with a lot of these other systems, you get a 1-year or a 2-year warranty with them. With these guys, you get a 1-year warranty. With all these ones, I think you get a 1-year warranty. But yeah, I definitely don't think that these guys are amazing value. I don't think that they're a bad company. If you want to buy a computer from them, you can buy a computer from them. I'm definitely not saying that you're not going to get okay performance from them. I'm just saying that they shouldn't be propping themselves up as a gaming computer company that has better value than the other competition, because that's just a false statement. They don't have better value. And in all the examples I've shown you, they actually have worse value. But yeah, guys, so thank you for watching the video. Hopefully this was fairly entertaining, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.